views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of WTJX, its board, staff, or underwriters.
Good day and welcome to Ability Radio. My name is Kishma B. Francis. I am one of your hosts. Ability Radio is brought to you by the Disability Rights Center of the Virgin Islands. We have two locations, one on St. Croix in Frederiksted by the former Kmart, and the next one in Havenside on St. Thomas above Deli Deck. I have the pleasure of speaking with someone who is no stranger to Ability Radio. In 2023, this person actually had a conversation with me about culturally competent leadership and how it affects disability rights. Another thing that happened during our recording was this person was contemplating going to school to get their PhD. So without further ado, Dr. Christian, if you could just introduce yourself, tell us about yourself and where you work.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Attorney Francis, Kishma. It is a pleasure to be here once again. And previously mentioned, my name is Juan Christian. I was born and raised here in St. Thomas, USVI, a product of the public school system and a proud alum of the University of the Virgin Islands, where I completed my bachelor's, master's, and my PhD in creative leadership for innovation and change, with a concentration in educational leadership for change. I am currently working as the Director of Marketing and Public Relations for Tutu Park Mall. And it is in this capacity I'm able to do a lot of community collaboration, which is something that I am tremendously proud of because we have coined the theme of community connectivity, which basically illustrates the importance of joining and linking together to provide services, resources, and spark awareness in our community as to what is out there that can, help everyone achieve, a better life.
And this show, the name of this show is The Importance of Community Collaboration and Creating a Space for Agencies to Just Share Resources. And I don't know if you've ever been to Tutu Park Mall at one of the events, but we always have a lot of resources being given out by different agencies. Mm-hmm. As the marketing director, just tell me a little bit more about some of those events that assist the community.
Collaboration, I'll begin by telling you collaboration, it matters. And when we talk about collaboration, it's not just a nice idea, it's a necessity. The political scientist Robert Putnam, in his work on social capital theory, he reminded us that communities are healthiest when people trust one another and when networks are strong and when we look out for each other. And for me, this is why collaboration matters, community collaboration. It's about schools linking arms with parents, businesses partnering with nonprofits, and individuals stepping up to volunteer. I've seen this firsthand at our community events, and you have been there as well, Attorney Francis. And, we've been blessed to assist, organize, with music, art, education, resources. And I find that it is taking root because people always call and ask, when are we doing these events again? Most of the times, people are just coming to participate in an activity to be entertained. And we have a balance where we provide entertainment, to keep the event lively and to draw, the community to come and support. But when you have people saying things, I was happy that, immunization was here. I was happy that disability rights, that they were able to steer me in a direction as to, what I can do to help my child or my children. And they also share, I would not have known this if I didn't come. Mm-hmm. So if we did not have the event, if disability rights and the other agencies that, are very much have become staples in these events that we have, the awareness, the community collaboration. If we were not doing these things, people would have been left in the dark. And the key issue to addressing anything is, awareness.
And you're so right, because even with these events, we have been able to partner with so many people outside of the events. And a lot of the people that we've met at like the back to school event or the Sharing is Caring campaign that you do in November. I don't know if I said it correctly. We've had them
Yes, it
as
is.
we've had them as guests on our shows. So it's community collaboration is very, very important. And I know I just list off a lot of your events, but I know I want you to go in and tell the listening audience more about your events.
Okay, absolutely. We have an annual back to school event. Everything that we host, it's under the umbrella of community connectivity. And the back to school event is something that is very dear to me, having served as an educator for 25 years. You get to realize, that some children are not coming to school, excuse me, equipped with all of the resources that they need. And for me, we have to make sure that we give everyone a fair start at the starting line,
Yes.
having them prepared, having them equipped. So what we do is we invite agencies such as Disability Rights. We partner up with the Virgin Islands Department of Education. We invite Virgin Islands Board of Education. We also invite our Department of Justice, has been with us several times. And what we do is all participating organizations, they provide some aspect of school resources, whether it's a notebook, pens, pencils, folders, and parents in attendance, they're able to walk away with, a number of items that will help them to jumpstart their children's school year. And
Yes.
one of the things that we
Mhm.
also do, we have Department of Education. I had created a back to school fashion show. So what they do is the do's and don'ts of school uniforms, both for males and females. So we have a fashion show, which is very entertaining. We show what the do's are, what's acceptable, and what the don'ts are. And that has been a major hit because parents in attendance can get an idea as to how their child, should come to school, how presentable they should look. And we have even had agencies, you have provided for us hygiene kits.
Yes. Yes. That
And,
was a big hit.
that is, yes. And that was a major hit
Mhm.
because I'm finding that a lot of individuals, a lot of children, we don't know what their home life is like.
Mhm.
And, for me, instead of being on the side of the coin that's going to just gossip and berate and put down, I think we have to see and embrace the full humanity
Mhm.
of everyone in our community and be proactive, take a proactive stance, seek proactive measures, to provide tools, resources, because sometimes that's the only missing link. They don't have access to these things that, for a lot of us, these things are just, we're able to provide them for ourselves, but there are those who can't.
Yes. Definitely.
So we have to, you know, make sure that we build that bridge, we build that gap, and we pull them along to help them. We have to teach them because how can they know what to do if they have never been taught? And sometimes, ultimately, I remember when I started teaching, my father had told me, you need to understand that some parents, they just don't know what to do.
Yes.
So we have that responsibility. And that's back to school. I love all the events, but the November event, Day of Caring and Sharing,
Mhm.
that's where we come together as a community and we invite, several organizations to come and actually they bring and provide non-perishables, because, it's Thanksgiving is coming up and we collect non-perishables. We even collect clothing items, hygiene items
Mhm.
again, and we donate these to the Nana Baby Home. And the last home we donated to was the Lucinda Millen Home. And here it is again. some people are not as fortunate, as the rest of us. And for me, growing up in a neighborhood where I saw people struggling, my classmates were struggling. I'm not able to have certain things. When we look at holidays,
Mm-hmm.
community collaboration is 365, 366 on a leap year.
Mm-hmm.
We try to make sure that we keep the flame burning and do everything humanly possible to lift up the life of the next person.
And I just want to say about the hygiene packets, when I told you we have hygiene packets given out, you're like, bring them to the back to school. And that was the
Yes.
first time we actually gave them out at an event. We normally just went to the schools and hand them out to the students coupled with training. But that was the first time we actually did it at an event. And students and adults were asking for hygiene packets because we had them in like male, female, and
Yes.
we got there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people. About how many collaborators are there at your events?
We have had at the maximum we've had 40. At the minimum, we've had maybe between 17 to 30. But what is happening is I was contacted by the Virgin Islands Board of Realtors.
Mm-hmm.
A wonderful lady by the name of Kim. Kim contacted me and she said, listen, I hear that you do all these amazing events at the mall. We want to become a part of it, because she was at a school and she heard children speaking about not having hand towels to dry their hands, having soap to
Mm-hmm.
wash their hands. And she called and she asked, how can I become a part of these noteworthy events? And she participated. She came and they collected several items that they donated to the schools as well.
That's
So
awesome.
yes, it is. It is. It sincerely is. And, for me, I think we have more of an impact when we come in numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives us an idea to basically pay attention, observe what the needs of our community, what those needs are. And I'm just tremendously, tremendously grateful that I'm able to serve in such a capacity as this.
Yes, yes. I've been to many of your events, and even we tried to keep count on how many people pass by our tables. And the hygiene packets, we would normally put out like 100, and they would be gone in the first hour. So your events are well attended, but just give me an estimate about how many people show up to your events.
I would go based on, we give out 300 bags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drawstring bags. And what I say to my team, of course, I have an exceptional team at Tutu Park Mall that I work with. Very, supportive team players. And we give out the drawstring bags. We give out 300 bags. And we give out individual bags. And what I found is sometimes we have over a little of 300 in attendance. And how we chart this is we keep tab of who comes to our table.
Okay.
And we also give out the tickets
Mm-hmm.
so they can redeem an item, just to give us an idea of, how many participants, how many attendees, and also to give us the idea of how we need to increase, what we're providing for the community.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy your events. I enjoy your events because not only do I get to meet other community providers, and there are some for-profit organizations there too, but it's like the community coming together, and we need it right now, especially where federal funding is being cut here, local funding is being cut here. Not duplicating resources, but just putting all our resources out there so our community should know or can know that it's available. This is available for you And
Yes.
if we don't know the answer, we will find someone who knows the answer. And we found those people at your event. We literally have.
I would like to say something about the for-profit participants.
Mhm.
When they come, they provide items as well. They give back to school items. They don't come to sell anything on that day. What they do is that they donate of their time and their resources. And I'm appreciative of that as well because, I had some people who don't understand. It's not a day to come to try to sell things to parents. We had a young lady who makes some beautiful bowls and everything else. She gave out gift certificates.
Oh, wow.
She gave out, and these are things that she makes by hand.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mention the name because I don't want anyone to feel that, I'm showing favoritism or that I left them out.
Yeah.
But she sits and she makes these things by hand. She sits with her daughter and they do this, and it's a beautiful craft. It's very creative, and she made several of these bowls and gave out gift certificates. We even have our tenants at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
We've had tenants that provided gift certificates as well, for us to use as our raffle. And when we do the raffle, of course, is free. You get a ticket, and if your number is called, you would be the lucky one to win a prize.
Yes, and really good prizes, might I add, especially at the Sharon is Caring event. They were really good prizes, gift certificates. I think one time you gave out a turkey too.
Yes.
Yeah, so really,
Yeah.
really great prizes. Prizes. Let me upgrade my term. So you're the marketing director at Tutu Park Mall. So what's your vision, your goal in this position?
I think that the reality of the global shift that was created by the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people need to realize shopping centers have changed tremendously. Not just here at Tutu Park Mall in the USVI, but, throughout, our nation internationally as well. And what my focus is to make the mall, like we've been doing, not just a place where people would come to shop. We don't want them to feel we just want them to come and spend their money there. We wanted to actually see that we do care about them. We do care about them because we're all a part of this community. No matter what transpires in the community, it's going to have a ripple effect and it's going to affect us all. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And for me, I just want it to be a place where they would know not only that people care, but they can come and engage in fun activities and activities that would steer them in a direction where they can get the knowledge and the assistance that they're seeking. Because collaboration, it only works if we create safe spaces for people to gather.
Yes.
And by safe space, I don't just mean physical safety, though that's very important. I mean emotional safety, cultural safety, the feeling that I belong here,
Mm-hmm.
And I can recall psychologist Abraham Maslow. He taught us through his hierarchy of needs that safety and belonging, that they're foundational. Without them, people cannot move forward to higher levels of growth, like learning or creativity. So in the field of education, Dr. Mohammed Khalifa, as well as others, they remind us of culturally responsive leadership and for leaders to validate and affirm the voices of their communities. That's what safe spaces are, places where every person feels seen, respected, and valued. Here in the Virgin Islands, we create those spaces when we celebrate steel pan music, when we showcase local art, when we tell our own stories. Culture itself, to me, becomes a safe space.
Yes, definitely. And I just want to make a point that these events are free. They are free and they're open to the public. And, even if we have 300, we would love to have 1,000 if the mall can accommodate it.
And it's so interesting. We would love it because we can. Because you see, people come, you just have the flow of people. You have highs and lows, and
Yes.
then that's how it works. But we do have people coming out. We need to put it out there like you just did. Yes, we would love 1,000 to come.
Yes, yes, because they're really great resources. You come empty-handed and you leave with something. So, really
Yes,
great resources. We talked about the needs of our community
yes.
briefly. From your perspective, what are the needs of our community?
For the needs of our community, you know what? Our community needs compassion, understanding.
Hmm.
There needs to be healing in our community. A lot of people feel with we see transpiring. For me, let's say, for example, when we talk about, the violence that we're seeing in schools, the fights that we're seeing erupting, and I know that there's a discipline plan, and there are consequences for infractions. But when we see the constant violence, we see that our children are so angry. What can we do to get to the root of where that anger is coming from?
Yeah.
And I feel that sometimes we are too quick to mow down the next person or pass judgment
Yes.
when we are not, we are completely, uninformed as to what's going on. And sometimes, I'm not to offend anyone, but sometimes the level of ignorance itself, is a deterrent, because here it is, suspend them, throw them out of school. Okay, so then when we suspend them, we throw them out of school. What choices do they have?
Yes.
I think that every possible avenue should be explored before a child is expelled from school. And in school suspension, I know it's something that a lot of schools have. And when we suspend these children and we leave them out at home unattended, then that opens the door for them to go out in the community, get themselves into problems.
Yes, I agree. I
We we
I agree.
we need compassion. We need unity. We need to understand it's not about you, it's not about me, it's not about he and she, it's about all of we
Yes. Definitely.
coming together and understanding. We're not going to agree on everything, but if we can say, this is our objective, this is how we're going to achieve this objective, I think unity, compassion is what's needed for me. It's paramount.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So how can the community find out more about your events?
Well, they can follow us on Tutu Park Mall USVI on Facebook, and they can also find our website link there as well. And all of the events are posted there. If there are any community organizations that, would like to join us and be a part of our family, join the RCVI, Tutu Park Mall, and the others that are just so committed
Mhm.
to community connectivity, please check us out there, or you can call us at 340-775-4658. We'll be most delighted to have you become a part of our community connectivity family.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I just want to say I still have my t-shirt. I still have my t-shirt from the last time. So before we go, any last words, Dr. Christian? I know I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. We talked about it the last time we were on air, and now I am calling you Dr. Christian. Any last
Absolutely.
words?
Well, I want to say to to the community that community collaboration, it's not just something that just happens at a meeting or an event. It's small in our everyday actions, right? It's reaching out to your neighbor, showing up to support our schools, volunteering your time, or simply creating a space where someone feels like they belong. And Helen Keller actually has a quote that says, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." That's the heart of this conversation. And the objective of community connectivity. If we want our children, our families, and our communities to flourish, we must build safe spaces where every voice matters, where every culture is honored, and where we stand strong. And in that process, we stand stronger together.
Yes.
And, I'm just grateful, Attorney Francis. Thank you so much for letting me share, and thank you for being a part of our vision.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And this radio show has been brought to you by the Disability Rights Center of the Virgin Islands. We have 2 locations, as stated, one in St. Croix and one in St. Thomas. If you would like to hear our previous show, just log on to our website, www.drcvi.org. Under the tab Ability Radio, you will find a conversation with me and Dr. Christian about culturally competent leadership and how it affects disability rights. We will also have this show on our YouTube channel, Disability Rights Center of the Virgin Islands. Thank you again, Dr. Christian.
Thank you so much, Attorney Francis.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of WTJX, its board, staff, or underwriters.